Ready to rock? You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 83. That was my microphone. That wasn't me. 833-212-1017 is the number. I'm excited. I'm hyper today. I'm ready to go. It's Tuesday. I got too much stuff to talk about, not enough time to do it. I keep begging Kyle to give me an extra hour. He said, go for a walk. So, I'm just here. So, anyway. So I was driving today, listening to, I got so many stories. Oh, I got the dumbest thing I did today. I got to tell it, but I'm not going to do that right now. I did the dumbest thing I could ever think of in my entire time. I've only done it twice in my life. I'll tell you the first time I did it and the second time I did it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to embarrass myself. But hey, it's live radio. What can you do? So I'm driving today and I'm listening to the radio, right? I'm a radiophile. That's the old school way of saying it, but I love radio. I listen to radio 24 hours a day. I have Sirius XM in all my cars. I have Sirius XM on all my phones. And if I could figure out a way to get Sirius XM on my Alexa, then I would just listen to it all day. Right now it's connected to my phone and I got to tell, hey, Alexa, go to, but let me not say that because then somebody's Alexa will set off. Although that would be a really cool thing to say. Blankety blank, 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 blank. And then it'll do something and then I'll get blamed for it and sued and all that stuff. But anyway, I digress. I heard a business story about IBM. I heard a business story about IBM and how people still work for IBM, but IBM's stock price has been flat for like 10 years. And so I hear about IBM every now and then, and somebody says, yeah, they work for IBM. Like, ooh, like nobody does it. Like, hey, you work for Microsoft. People go, wow. You work for Apple or Google. People go, hey. You work for Salesforce.com. Wow. You work for LinkedIn. Yeah. You work for IBM. Okay. It's kind of flat. But see, other companies have been that way. Apple's going to end up being that way, right? Apple can only I can only get so many versions of the doggone Apple phone. I can only get so many versions of an iPad. What's next? Right? Well, we don't know. Yes, eyeglasses are next, but I think Microsoft already bought all the companies that do all that stuff. Ocular and all of that, right? As far as I know. That's not my wheelhouse. AI and ocular stuff is my wheelhouse. But needless to say, Microsoft used to be flat. And then they went into what? Remember Microsoft was jamming and then all of a sudden they just kind of, they'd been around for like 20-something years and people were like, yeah, Microsoft. Yeah. And then all these new people started coming on the block. And so what stopped Microsoft from being flat is going to the cloud computing. Like they put everything on the cloud. So now you got OneDrive, you got all these other things, but now I don't have to download software on my computer for anything in the Microsoft suite, or if you call it suite, however you want to, right? I don't have to do it because it's all on the cloud. I just get access to the cloud on my computer and I'm golden. And one of the ways that Microsoft didn't become flat, and I know I'm digressing. One of the ways Microsoft did not become flat is they invented this thing, right? Well, IBM tried the same thing. IBM bought this company called Lotus. And some of you all are old enough to remember, most are not, Lotus Notes, if you worked in business. Because Lotus Notes were what? Spreadsheets. And then Microsoft invented this thing called Excel. Where did Lotus go? I don't know, but it probably went the same place IBM went. Flat. That story reminded me of Milwaukee. What is Milwaukee today? Flat. It's been doing the same stuff in education, business, politics. It has become so complacent. And when I say political complacency, you can't just complain that you want to get the Republicans out and put Democrats in, and that'll change the complacency. Because Dem's been running stuff for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, and Milwaukee has not gotten better at all. So they're not doing a very good job. I don't think Republicans will ever run the city anyway. But just the fact that the Democrats have been doing nothing, but again, I digress. We have been doing the same thing, not to mention certain things, over and over and over, allowing for complacency to set in. And it's been at least 10 years that Milwaukee has been in a death spiral. Not as in homicides, but just things dying. What we spend our money on, the things that we correct. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and they said, you know, it's funny, the amount of money that we waste, you realize that if we made sure parents who have children simply got enough money, we could stop all book bag drives and all, school supply drives, right? By simply either giving, and this is my addition, giving the parents a voucher to go get it, or just having them go in and be able to just buy it at a reduced price. But we waste money on ridiculous things. How much money can MPS spend and a kid still has to have a book bag drive to give stuff away for free, continually perpetuating victimhood and getting things for free? At some point, how do we get that child out of that spiral? Well, we can't, because the parents in the spiral too. And that's just education. Politics, don't even talk about it. Our political apparatus has been bought and paid for by business. And business isn't going to change, and they're not going to change. And it's unfortunate. But then I started thinking, maybe I'm too narrow-minded. And I just heard the whole world globally say, yes, you are. So then for you, I would ask, what needs to immediately change in Milwaukee? I'm not talking about a task force. I'm not talking about put a committee together in a group. I'm not talking about let's talk about it, because educators are good at that. They talk a lot. They don't do anything. What needs to change immediately in Milwaukee? Give me your top number one needs to change today. And I mean change as in, let's not just flip it. Let's get rid of it and reinvent. 833-212-1017 is the number, because I keep looking and I keep watching and I keep asking, what's new? And then the IBM story popped up. And when I was done listening to it, from where I see it, you know what's new? Nothing.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.